Peace world, thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. Whether you join during this live or you check it out later, you saw who was on the thumbnail, my guy Stephen A. Smith. Look, man, to whom much is given, much is expected. Again, if you talking on air 5 days a week, 15 hours a day, 15 segments per episode, you're going to say some stuff that's not as sharp as other stuff. But for $10 million, I have a certain level of expectation of expertise, and even entertainment. Oh, before I get into the Stephen A. Smith thing, shout out to the cycling world's Aisha McGowan, I think is her name. I don't see many American men cyclists over in Europe on the road events or the road courses, the stage races. I have seen the American flag on some of the programs that I've watched. I just don't know their names. But shout out to Aisha McGowan. She's over there competing in a race. She's new. She's a newcomer to cycling. She's with Live Racing, I believe is how you pronounce it, LIV. But she's a part of a team over there competing in Europe. It's just rare. And in yesterday's stage, it appears that she finished seventh. For that stage, and I just think that's remarkable. She's doing something that's kind of unprecedented. She is a black woman. She's been over there. She did a training camp over there with that team, and she has an Instagram account as well as a website and a blog, I believe. A Brown Fox, I think is what it's called, or a quick Brown Fox or something like that. But you can check her out. I think her Instagram handle might be, I suppose, get out of the way, man, my dog. AYE, suppose, I think. Bruh, this dude ain't never around when I'm talking. He leaves the room, but now he's here. But anyway, back to Stephen A. Smith. Best of luck to the rest of that race for Aisha and her teammates. So look, back to Stephen A. Smith. It's just hard for me to take some of the stuff serious. And again, I keep scratching my head about how ESPN has chosen to get this heavily invested and let this particular person be the face of their competitive sports debating series, if you will. But he goes to discuss the QB situation in the nation's capital. And of course, his simple fix is for the Washington football team to reach out to Cam Newton. Okay, that's his opinion. The only thing is, in his video, he clearly knows nothing about the contribution of backup quarterback Taylor Heinicke to the Washington football team last year when he was the starter for the home playoff game hosting the Tampa Bay Bucks, the eventual Super Bowl champions. He made no reference to Heinicke's phenomenal touchdown running play where he injured his AC joint and reached out to touch the pylon to get the 6 points. He went head-to-head with Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion and #1 football player in history, so on and so forth. He threw for over 300 yards. I want to say 306. Completed like 60% of his passes. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Rushed for maybe 24 total yards. And actually led the team back. Had a late game touchdown drive that kept the team in it until, it ended up being 31-23. I think it might have been 28-23 was as close as it got. But to sit here and dismiss and discredit Heinicke this just goes to show, like, he's not watching sports the way he's not watching all the sports, and didn't even take the time to do a little bit of research to even speak on Heineke, besides trashing the man's name and comparing and just summing him up as a player, as him having a name similar to a muffler or a muffler repair company in Meineke mufflers. But I thought he might have went the beer route with the Heineken and whatnot. But it's Stephen A's world. But I'm just not impressed with the sports takes. I'm sorry. Consistently. The other embarrassing thing here for a guy who receives who earns $10 million a year doing what he does, he called Coach Ryan Rivera. Now, he did catch himself in the next sentence. I don't know if he realized that Ryan didn't sound correct from all the years that Ryan Rivera has been in the mix, or if somebody off camera, brought it to his attention that it was Ron and not Ryan. But, and everybody makes mistakes, but why wouldn't you have taken the time, unless they did that live, which I really don't think they did. But before it goes out to the public to try to go viral, I would have edited that. I would have had somebody edit that. For all the money wrapped up in this. But I guess they keeping it funky, So he calls Ryan. And then through this whole take, which was basically clickbait with the title that Cam Newton's career could be over permanently this weekend. So you see how that's sensationalized. But his whole premise is if his former coach of 9 years, I believe, down in Carolina, MVP winning season, Super Bowl appearance, which they lost, 15-1 that year. If that coach doesn't put in the call needing a number one QB or a QB1, if Rivera doesn't call or contact Cam Newton to acquire his services, then that should probably signal the death of or the end of Cameron Newton's career in the NFL. And I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here like, this might be your grand idea, but what do we actually know or have we actually seen that makes any of this legitimate in any way? Rivera was the guy who was the head coach when the team turned away from their franchise quarterback, who took them to the aforementioned Super Bowl appearance. I think that's the second for the franchise. But he was the head guy when they made the decision to part ways with the face of the team for the past 9 years. Before Rivera, or as Rivera was coming to the Chocolate City, to the nation's capital, he didn't make a big effort to go and bring Cameron Newton with him and to make that reunion. So what are we talking about? What proof or evidence do we have there that would support that Rivera is even remotely interested in Cam Newton and his game? And this is why I'm saying football is not Stephen A's, that's not his bread and butter. In my opinion, a lot of his football takes are not much more informative or entertaining than the random dude you might sit next to at a sports bar. But with Rivera being the head man in charge when they moved on in Carolina from Cam Newton, like I said, we don't know if that relationship is one that they've been exchanging Christmas cards the last couple seasons. That relationship may be dead. There's also some other thoughts out there, and I'm not the biggest football guy myself, but I think Cam Newton comes with modifying your system to meet his needs or to tailor things to what Cam Newton does well, which we don't know what that is at this stage. So to me, it's just foolish. It's just low-hanging fruit sports talk to sit here and think that that's a simple solution, is to just go call the guy that used to be the guy 6 years ago, and that's how you fix your current problem when, if you are a head coach, the QB2 and the QB3 should be the next solutions to have some type of continuity in things. You just don't go and burn the whole damn season up because one guy went down who really wasn't the future of the team anyway in that position. But that's Stephen A's world. But to disregard Taylor Heineke the way that he did, to just make this presumption that Rivera and Cam Newton are on great speaking terms was foolish. And then to ignore the fact, to do even less research and not understand that the third QB in the room, Kyle Allen, I believe, started a few games last year and was part of the plans last season. So is it really a crisis in the QB room in Washington? No, we never had a great option to start the season. Fitzpatrick wasn't the ideal starter. But again, to go out here and put the label out there that this is the end of Cam Newton's career this weekend, that's just clickbait. And I guess for that you can get $10 million a season with that type of thinking. Again, bring in and I think that's part of the reason why they shuffle through. Come on, bro. They shuffle through or they intend to shuffle through the guys that they want Stephen A to debate, because they understand he has these glaring weaknesses in his game. One man can't know everything, although he thinks he knows everything, or he ain't running away from any debate about anything. But that little clip right there was disappointing, especially to call a head coach with over 10 years of coaching, to call the man by the wrong name is speaks for itself. But anyway, we'll be all right in the nation's capital. They got to regroup. And if Rivera does not reach out to Cam Newton, which I don't think that's going to happen, not without another quarterback going down permanently, I don't think that call will get made. But I think it's a little too early to really speak on what the future holds for Cam. Again, it's the second week of the season. So, a lot of teams, your contingency planning and what you do next, not many teams are blowing up things after one or two losses to where you go get a guy off the street. I think if anything, after 2 games, you might start kicking the tires on that option. You might start looking at the pros and cons of bringing him in. But yeah, for the most part, I think most of the NFL teams that are out there are situated at that position to where that could be a middle of the season thing. Where's your team at in the division? Where is the division? The first place team. How many games are they up? It's just a lot of moving pieces to that decision, and I just think it was a reach to run out here. That part of the hazards is sitting out here. It was a reach to go end of Cam Newton's career just because he might not be part of the plans in Washington, D.C. That's just my opinion. Hey, but like I said, man, you don't have to be great to start. You just have to start to be great. And, Stephen A personifies that, really. Let me get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.